Hey, Russell, welcome to the Pet Show.
Hi, Warren. Been listening to you for years in the local Los Angeles area. However, I have a question about my old English sheepdog. She's a rescue dog. Zoe's her name. We've rescued 4 old English sheepdogs over the years. However, this one, her name is Zoe. She jumps when people come to the door, and she kind of is uncontrollable. My wife seems to think she's just excited, and the second part of that, she humps. She humps she humps, and
A
my
jumper,
wife.
a jumper and a humper, huh, Russell?
Uh,
Let's go over a couple things. First of all, I am a big old English sheepdog fan. Do you remember the movie Serpico?
I do.
Remember the old English sheepdogs in that movie?
I do. I remember.
Who do you think was behind the scenes?
You must have been
You
back
got
there.
that right. And then as later on, years later, I actually trained Al Pacino's personal dogs as well. But I'm a big fan of sheepdogs. I trained one for the Broadway show Camelot. They're fabulous dogs. However, very often they're a little bit too smart and a little bit too assertive for the people that they live with. No putting you down, Russell. But let me explain. Sheepdogs are dogs that herd sheep. When you have a herding breed like a sheepdog, jumping up is part of what they do. So what happens is we need to contain that, not by yelling, not by bad dog, not by phooey, not by overly correcting the dog, but actually spending the time to train the dog so when the dog is reacting in a way where the dog is not doing what the dog should be doing, we have the control in a positive way. So rather than say no, 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 I often joke, I've gone into people's homes, Russell, and said no, the dog comes thinking that's his name because he hears it so often. Rather than say no, that's when the leash and collar comes out, and that's when the positive training really needs to take place. Now, the jumping and the humping, a lot of people assume that dogs hump because of sexual behavior, and I always tell them not to feel flattered. The dog's not humping your leg because he finds it that attractive, but in the world of dogs, when a dog humps a leg, whether it be a female or a male dog, it's not necessarily sexual, it's a sign of dominance. So I really think in your case, Russell, I really sounds to me like you really need to take the time to reinforce Zoe's basic training so that you have some positive control over her. Am I correct there?
That's correct. That sounds like very good advice.
Okay, so here's what you need to do. It's got to be in a very positive way. Forget what you watch on TV. There's no yelling at the dog, no screaming at the dog. You don't have to be the boss all the time. You negotiate with your dog. Listen, nothing responds 100% of the time. You're not going to respond 100%, and neither is Zoe. But let's get it under control. So in terms of the jumping, increased exercise is really critical. Also, if you have close friends that come over, tell them to come over wearing their jeans or their sweatsuits. And when they walk in the house, before Zoe has the ability to jump up on them, have them get down at her level. Can you imagine living in a world where everyone around you is 27 feet tall? You jump up too. So have them spend more time down on that level. Also, what you may want to find is when people come in and Zoe gets excited, find one item that Zoe only gets when people come over. Give her that item when the people walk in. 5 minutes later, when she calms down, take that item away and she gets it next time when somebody walks in. So when people come over, she's more focused on the toy than she is on them. That's how you're going to resolve your problem, Russell.